Hello, everyone. I'm Bill Williams, and I want to take a minute and welcome you to the 327 Experience, which is the podcast of our local church here in the upper state of South Carolina, Mountain Springs. Thank you for joining us again for this podcast. We're really excited about today's podcast because we have a special guest. And the guest that we have today, we don't get on his calendar a lot. He's extremely busy, obviously, but we did capture him for today, and we're really glad to have him. So join me and welcome our lead pastor, Dr. Benjamin Smoak. Pastor, thank you so much for joining us and taking time today.
Absolutely, Bill. It's my privilege to be here. I'm excited about the podcast and what God's going to do through this. And the first one was a huge success, and so it's really neat.
Yeah, we had some good people joining us, so that really helped, and good content.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good content.
Yeah.
So before we dive into the conversation, which we have a lot of things to talk about and pick your brain on some questions, but before we dive into that, tell us a little bit about you. What's going on in your life? Tell us about the Smoak family.
So life is busy for us right now. Of course, Andrew, our son, is getting ready to wrap up his junior year of high school, so we started college visits and all that fun stuff, as you know, from your kids. And so excited about him. He's be a senior next year. Football is his sport. And so he's excited about his senior season of football. And daughter Kaylee is in the throw of softball right now. They're wide open. She just finished basketball, is into softball. And so a lot going on. And she wraps up 8th grade. So she's getting ready to transition to high school next year. And then Amanda, of course, is teaching both at Wren and at Anderson University. So our life is busy. Like this week, our goal was to make it to Friday, and it was just that.
Congratulations!
It was that week. Like it was 4 ball games and just a lot of things with the church and different things. So we made it.
Good. Yeah. Well, if you need any help with what's going on with the kids, so obviously I can pressure your son in going to Anderson, right? I'm pretty partial there.
Absolutely.
I will tell you, the other day he walked past me. We were, I guess, maybe here at the campus, and he walked past me, and I just kind of patted him on the shoulder. And that guy is a stout guy.
Yeah, he's pretty stocky.
Yeah, you can tell he's a football player. And then Kaylee, every time I see, not every time, but a lot of times when I see Kaylee, she's got the same message for me. And she says, Mr. Bill, you need to level up. So tell her I'm trying to level up. Tell her I'm trying to level up.
Absolutely, I will.
All right, well, let's jump into it. So tell us a couple of things. One, the first question that I have for you is, obviously, there's a lot going on in Mountain Springs.
Right.
You know, we just launched, as we talked on the last podcast, we just launched our second ministry center in downtown Piedmont.
Right.
And that just opened last night, actually.
Right.
So tell us how that went.
So the opening of that was great. It was a really neat experience to see. I was thinking on the way home last night, for a church our size, it's running, probably right now we're averaging about 170 or so in worship on Sunday morning. To have our main campus, but then now to have 2 additional campuses for our size church, that's really not heard of. And not only to have those campuses, but they're fully operational. They're volunteer staffed. I mean, it's not like we've got paid staff at those campuses. So God's just really doing a really neat thing, not only here on our main campus, but as we spread out as well. But also, the opening, I don't think it could have went any better. It was windy, but the rain held off, and so it was sunny, ended up being sunny and windy, but just great turnout from the community, great turnout from the church. I just love seeing people love on each other. And probably my favorite thing of the evening was Mike Williams, who Mike got saved, I guess, about 4 or 5 years ago. Just loves the ministry in Piedmont, but he shared just a little bit of his testimony. And so to see just that transition, that kind of full circle moment, it just continues to remind me that we're doing what we're called to do, and that's to help people find the way and to be intentional about reaching out, not just reaching in.
Yeah, and last night, Kim and I, we went over, and the kids went over, and I was amazed at this. First of all, it was a great event. The band was great. The singing was great. Yeah. Mike's testimony was great. The food was great. Yeah. But I was shocked at how many people was there I didn't know. Right. I mean, the community just came out, and it wasn't just, I don't think, because it was a grand opening. There was people there with genuine needs that was excited to get food to take home with them and know the boutique is getting ready to be open on a more permanent basis. So I'm just excited at what God's doing there. Yeah,
I was telling Stephanie, the number of people are asking about the boutique. It's going to be like Black Friday and Piedmont Saturday when they have the grand opening, which is neat. It's their 1-year anniversary sales. So, but just to think about what God's doing and going to do in that space, it's exciting.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody else that attends Mountain Springs the other day. We're just having a conversation about everything that God's doing. And one thing that where we landed on is we can't keep up with God.
Right.
We just can't. I mean, he is moving. There's so many ministries happening. I remember telling you last year, one of the things that I get most excited about at the end of the calendar year is I can't wait to see what new ministry God's going to birth inside of Mountain Springs. And so far, he's never failed in opening one or birthing one.
Every year. Every year.
That's good. That's a good problem to have,
absolutely.
right? So let's transition just a little bit. Spring is here. I know the weather may not feel like it over the last couple of days, but it is here. The sun's shining. The calendar says it's spring. Spring is a busy time for most churches, and Mountain Springs is not exempt from that. We have a lot of things going on. Talk to us a little bit about upcoming spring events that we would want to participate in.
Yeah, so we actually are just wrapping up our marriage conference. Tracy Jessup and James Noble, who are vice presidents at Anderson, are leading that out for couples. So that was a great event, and I'm excited about that. Coming out of that, it's kind of like that was the gate that really swung open to spring. A lot of things coming up with Easter. We got Good Friday service, Easter Sunday service. Excited about both of those. Just with the growth in attendance, we've made some plans just and projecting on what we think Easter will be like based on what we saw at Christmas and the growth we've continued to see since Christmas. So really excited about. There's just something about a full house on any service, but especially on Easter Sunday morning. And so excited about that. And leading into May, we've got Mother's Day, Graduate Recognition Sunday. That leads straight into Bible school, then the youth camp, children's camp. And before you know it, the kids won't like to hear this, but school will be starting back. Right. So literally, it's just a wide open stretch from now until really Christmas. I mean, because once we get through school starting back, of course, there's a lot of things we do with involvement with the schools. But of course, then you get into our fall. We're excited about, kind of rallying around our vision again. This is a year ago, this coming September, we launched our vision, a renewed vision about helping people find the way. And so we're going to kind of do a revision Sunday just with the church-wide meal like we did last year to kind of look back, but also really project forward. So,
very nice. Yeah. So talk to me about another subject that is really just exploding here with the folks on campus. And I hear a lot of people talking about it, and it's called Legacy 1860. Help us understand what that is.
Yeah, so Legacy 1860 actually came out of our vision planning last year. So really get the full scope of that. Last March of 2024, our staff, I really felt led that we needed to kind of really rehone what we were doing. So I challenged our staff, and we spent from March until August really defining who we were and really looking at how we do what we do. And out of that came just this desire for us to leave a legacy. I know you like props and stuff, so I brought something. These are the original minutes of our church, and I love looking at them. The penmanship's pretty neat. You just look way back, and you just see. I mean, the original members, and they've got everything just in here. But for me, this isn't. It's not just history. It's a reminder of the sacrifice that people made. And so Legacy 1860 was really born not just out of our vision conversation as a staff, but really out of the heart of those 27 people in 1860 that got saved, didn't have a local church. So they planted one, they birthed one right here in the Mountain Springs community. And so for us, we see Legacy 1860 is not something that is really gonna ever expire within our lifetime. We see this as something that's going to just be a building block for the future. So when I'm gone, when you're gone, when our staff that's currently serving is gone, when members are gone, Legacy 1860 is something that's going to continue to give. We've launched into our goal, our first major goal for Legacy 1860 is to retire the debt on our main campus. But it's not, as I told the church, it's not a capital campaign. Like that's our first goal for that, our first project. And we just want to have Legacy 1860 projects. We've already started another one. We've got a trail that we've developed, and that was really, it was one of those God moments. We're sitting in a staff meeting. We were meeting upstairs and looking out the window. Nathan, our worship leader, he's like, it'd be neat if we had a trail. I like to hike, and we had just done some prayer walking, and so he had walked the perimeter of the property here, and And so we said, hey, let's put that on the list. And that's one of those projects that we had the manpower, we had people in the church that have the machinery to make it happen. And so literally the trail's already been cleared. So we're already 2 projects in on Legacy 1860, and it's only been about 2 months since it's been launched.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. One of the things that that I was really impressed with is just how the church has rallied around this in such a short amount of time. When you think about 1860, a lot was happening during that time frame.
Yep.
And then you look at what has happened over the last few generations. And it reminds me, a few years ago, you preached a series. And at the end of that series, you had me and a couple of other folks to come up, and we talked about that series, what we got from it on one Sunday morning. And I remember that I've only been here since 2016, so 9 years. Yeah. And I remember that one thing that I talked about that Sunday morning is that we traced, with your help, we traced how I got here back from the 1920s to a family that started coming in the 1920s. Some of that family's still here today. And then how they invited other people. And then ultimately, you'll remember Jim Justice, who's no longer with us. He's in heaven with his reward, right? Yeah. But he is the one that really got me stuck in and plugged in. And we traced that from the early 1900s all the way through to the person that got me plugged in. When I think about Legacy 1860, that's what it speaks to me, that this is, to your point, it's not a campaign, it's not a program, it is something that we're literally laying the foundation for 200 years from now, should God tarry, that they're going to be able to trace the steps back. So that just speaks volumes to me. Yeah,
we've developed, one of the things we developed was a logo, and because our goal is, it's not about names. It's not about, that I gave this or you gave this. It's about that together we did this. And so we developed a little logo. And the logo, if you look at it, it's really 4 chairs. And the purpose behind the logo is that everybody is a part. And our goal is on every project we do, whether it be retire the debt on this building, the trail, or whatever, is that we find a place where we can put that logo. So it's a reminder. So 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 50 years from now, it's kind of like those memorials, the stones that Moses laid, Joshua laid, that folks walk around this campus and say, man, okay, wow, Legacy 1860, wonder how long that's been here, and look back and thought, that was done in, 2015, and here it is, now it's 2025, or that was done in 2025, and now it's 2050. And it's like, wow, and so just to think, like, this building was built, and they moved in 2010, and so it's 15 years old already, and but we just see God continuing to do some amazing things, and so the response has been great, to Legacy 1860 from kind of some reoccurring gifts, but also we've had some conversations that's even opened us up to what could be. We've had some folks talk about in-kind gifts, like I've got this, and I don't know, I don't need it, and maybe the church could use it or sell it or what have you, and use the profits from that. And so that's really opened our line of thinking, because we weren't expecting that. But right out of the gate, literally the first Sunday that I preached the message, Challenge the Church, we didn't ask for a dime that Sunday. Someone reached out to me, actually I think talked with you as well, and about, hey, this is an opportunity that I have and am interested in seeing what it could be. And so excited to see not just that individual, but other individuals think outside the box. It's not just about, hey, I've got $1,000 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 100. It's like, maybe I've got this car that I don't need, and it's an antique and it's worth $50,000. Well, then, hey, the Lord can use that. And so it's exciting I'm just an outside the box thinker, whether it's Piedmont or whatever, but even it's going to be neat, I think, to see the Lord retire the debt on this building with us thinking outside the box.
Yep. And I'll congratulate you on being an outside the box thinker, because I can tell you this, that it's probably more frequent than not that you'll pick up the phone and give me a call, or we'll be having a conversation, and you'll toss something over. Hey, I've been thinking about something. I want to run it past you. I want to have, just give me your thoughts on this. And those types of conversations seem to always lead, whether you're having them with me or someone else in the church, it seems to always lead to a God moment where God is going to do something that we've not seen him do before. Yeah. And that's just an unbelievable place to live.
Yeah, it really is. And, we're fortunate as a church. We look around and you see what God's doing in some other places. I have some friends that are serving in different other ministry fields or other throughout the United States. And hear of different struggles, or, there's a lot of churches walking through different staffing shortages and different things. We're blessed with our staff that God's put together. The neat thing about our staff is that aside from Grady, our youth minister, and I, everybody else was a member at Mountain Springs before God put them on staff or led them to be a part of staff. And so they get the heart of it, but also as their own staff, and we've developed the vision that God, or not developed, but we've understood the vision God has for us. They've seen it not just from a staff perspective, but from a member perspective as well. And so our church family, I think, is second to none as far as volunteering and just loving on each other. And I know Stephanie and Kerry talked a lot about that on the first podcast. Right. Just, the flip that they've seen of, not just a few people doing everything, but, a lot of times we're like, okay, we literally are having to get signups for volunteers because we don't need so many on each project, which is in church, you never thought you'd have that, but hey, it's not a problem. It's another opportunity to birth folks and birth opportunities to send folks out.
I've been in churches like most of us have, and when it's time to volunteer, you're asking for people to volunteer. You're not seeing any hands raised. You're waiting on other people to raise their hands, and then you're picking up the phone and you're like, hey, I just need one more person, two more people. Right. But at Mountain Springs, it's the opposite. Right. To your point, like I've been down to the bridge before. I've been in some of the meals that we provide the local schools, the teachers, the football teams, the sports teams. And literally we have people that are standing around, volunteers that are standing around because they're just ready to help, but there's nothing to do. And that, again, it's a great problem to have. So
so my go-to now is, hey, if you don't have anything to do, go talk to somebody. Just go shake a hand, hug a neck, listen to somebody, because you never know. Because out of those conversations, we've seen God open some other doors. Like, I've had a few folks standing around at a football team meal, and they're like, what do I do? Just go talk. You never know what one of the players may be going through, a coach or somebody. And so those conversations have opened doors.
Absolutely. There's been so many times you'll just talk to someone at maybe when we're down at the bridge or something, and all of a sudden you recognize they just need prayer right now. Just through that conversation. And if you never engaged, you would never know.
Right.
Yep. Well, one thing I have to ask is this. So we're in the process of developing and finalizing the trail that's around the church. You talked about that. I think that's going to be 0.6 of a mile, if I'm not mistaken.
Right about, yes.
Okay. And it goes the length of the property for the most parts with a nice switchback. So here's my question that I have asked. All right. I've been asked, are we going to have an inaugural race on that trail to see if there is a winner out of the gate who can run that the fastest?
Who can run it the fastest?
Who can run it the fastest?
I mean, we can if you're up for it, Bill.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I feel that or not. I'll give the Pat and Christian answer. Let me pray about that. Let me pray about that.
But a neat thing about that is we had a local school reach out to us, a family in our church. Their son runs cross country, and the local school doesn't have a cross country off-road portion to practice on. And so before the trail's even done, it's already opened up an opportunity with a local school to say, hey, you know what? Y'all come practice on our trail, and just but we'll work on a race. Maybe we can get the local cross country team to kind of inaugurate it.
Absolutely,
it'd be a nice
Absolutely.
thing.
Or at minimum, we could incorporate it in our annual 5K.
Absolutely, yeah, because that's coming up.
September.
It's September.
Yeah. So we'll talk more about that as it approaches. So let me ask you this question. I know we're running out of time, but you talked a lot about what's going on here. If people want to get involved, what's the easiest way to get involved?
So, one thing, and I know we say a lot of times new things, but one of the easiest ways for folks to find out what's happening or to connect is to stop by the hub on Sunday mornings. One thing and we started this last summer, we really reorganized the gathering area and built out that area. The hub has been a place on Sunday mornings where people just are attracted to. It stands out. So when you walk in the front doors, I mean, there it is. That's our go-to place for connecting with the visitors for the first time. There's connect cards there. There's also sign-up sheets for whether it's baptism, Experience Mountain Springs, ladies events, the marriage retreat, anything like that. So any sign-ups are always there. Of course, you can always go to our website, social media. Also is kept up to date. Of course, there's a church app. So it's one of those things like there's a plethora of avenues to find what's going on and to plug in. But I would say if you want face-to-face interaction, the best place to go is the hub on Sunday morning and get a cup of coffee.
And it's good coffee.
It's great. It's good coffee. It's Danny Whitten approved.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And it's multiple choices.
It is
too.
multiple. You got
cold brew, hot.
cold brew some Sundays. Yeah. So, I mean, You can get it. Our goal is to do whatever it takes to help people find the way, even get in the right
That's
coffee.
right. That's right. That's good. That is good. Yeah. Well, Pastor, thank you so much for taking time with us. And I think you're leaving right here and you're going to
we have a softball game tonight. So fun stuff.
But do me a favor. It's Kaylee's game.
It's Kaylee's game.
Do me a favor and tell Kaylee that Mr. Bill said while she's playing, she needs to level up. Level up, Kaylee.
I will tell her.
All right, good deal.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, I want to thank you folks for joining us today on another podcast. Again, as I mentioned, I knew you would enjoy this for us to have an opportunity to have our lead pastor to sit down, pick his brain a little bit, hear about the vision that God has laid on his heart and how that's being executed with God's help here at Mountain Springs. And again, just thanks for taking the time. We will see you the next time on the 327 Experience, and we can't wait to meet you back here. Thank you.